Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Smith, and today first I'm going to tell you about a 2-minute morning reset that can flip your energy from foggy to focused before your coffee even kicks in. Millions of people wake up and drift into their day with low energy, distracted minds, and the familiar mid-morning crash. That pattern steals productivity and mood. The good news: 2 focused minutes can shift your nervous system out of autopilot and into clear, steady energy. Here's the routine: fast, science-friendly, and doable anywhere. First 30 seconds. Stand tall and take 4 slow, deep diaphragmatic breaths, counting the exhales to calm the stress response. Next 40 seconds. Open your chest and spine with 3 gentle overhead reaches and 2 slow standing twists to wake the spine and circulation. Then 30 seconds. Splash cool water on your face or rub your wrists, a mild cold cue that boosts alertness. Final 20 seconds. Face natural light or a lamp. Align your posture. Take 1 sharp inhale and set 1 clear intention for the next hour. Each element targets breath, movement, sensory input, and mindset, the combination that reliably resets alertness. Do this right after you turn off your alarm, before checking your phone, for 7 days and notice the difference. Try it now tomorrow morning. Time it, and tell me how you feel in the comments. Subscribe for more quick, evidence-based habits to upgrade your day. 1. Science of morning cortisol and light. Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Smith, and today first I'm going to tell you about how your body's chemistry and light interact to set your morning energy, and why many people feel groggy even after sleep. A core problem is that modern mornings often lack the signal your brain expects: bright, short-wavelength light hitting the retina soon after waking. Without that cue, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the brain's circadian master clock, and the HPA axis don't synchronize optimally, and the cortisol awakening response can be blunted or mistimed. The result is sluggishness, trouble concentrating, and a mismatch between hormonal readiness and your planned morning activities. The straightforward solution is to give your brain a strong, brief light signal immediately upon waking. 2 minutes of bright natural light, or a deliberate bright light exposure aimed at your eyes, without staring, nudges the circadian system and supports a robust cortisol awakening response. This quick intervention helps cortisol rise in close alignment with wakefulness, mobilizing energy and sharpening alertness within the next half hour. It's simple to do. Open curtains, step outside, or sit near a bright window and let daylight reach your face for a couple of minutes before diving into screens or dim indoor spaces. The biology explains why this works. Specialized retinal ganglion cells containing melanopsin detect overall brightness, and particularly sensitive blue wavelengths centered near about 480 nanometers. They relay that information directly to the suprachiasmatic nucleus. The SCN then coordinates downstream signals to the hypothalamus and pituitary, shaping the early morning release of ACTH and the subsequent rise in cortisol from the adrenal glands. Cortisol's functions include increasing blood glucose availability and raising cardiovascular readiness so your body can meet daytime demands. Light also suppresses melatonin production, which further shifts the brain from a sleep-ready to an alert state. Together, these pathways create the cortisol awakening response, a naturally timed surge that happens primarily in the first 30-45 minutes after waking, and light is one of the most powerful in training cues. Practical examples make this actionable. If you have a balcony or yard, step outside for 2 minutes and face the sky. If you're in an apartment with a bright window, sit close with curtains open and sip water while the light reaches your eyes. For those who cannot access strong daylight, a purpose-built bright light device positioned to illuminate your face for a short period can substitute. Just avoid staring directly into intense light sources and do not aim devices into the sun. Keep this 2-minute habit before checking email, social media, or bright indoor screens, because those activities provide mixed signals and can delay proper circadian alignment. Integrating this into daily life is straightforward and sustainable. Place a reminder by your bed or attach a sticky note to your alarm to prompt light exposure as the first task after waking. Track how you feel. Many people report clearer thinking and steadier energy within the first hour when they consistently add that brief morning light. Try it for a week. Notice changes in mid-morning alertness, and adjust placement or timing to suit your environment. If you want a step-by-step, wake, sit by bright light for 2 minutes, hydrate, and then proceed, small, precise, and science-backed. Give it a go tomorrow morning and observe what shifts in your energy. If you like this tip, follow for more practical ways to work with your biology. 2. Hydration. Why water comes before coffee. Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Smith, and today first I'm going to tell you about the simple but powerful habit of drinking water before your first cup of coffee. Your body loses fluid while you sleep through breathing, sweating, and basic metabolic processes, so most people wake up mildly dehydrated. That subtle deficit can reduce alertness and make caffeine feel harsher than it needs to. Drinking water first helps restore blood volume, supports circulation, and gives the brain better metabolic fuel before caffeine arrives. This small, immediate step can change how your morning feels. Many people grab coffee to wake up without realizing they're pouring a stimulant onto an already dry system. Coffee is a mild diuretic for some people and a gastric irritant for others, especially when consumed on an empty stomach. The result can be jitteriness, heartburn, or even a pounding headache. A practical solution is to sip a glass of water first. Doing so reduces stomach acidity, helps dilute gastric contents, and gives your kidneys a head start on flushing overnight metabolic byproducts before caffeine alters blood flow and perception. On a physiological level, rehydration before caffeine improves circulation to the brain and helps neurotransmitters work more efficiently, which often means you need less coffee to feel focused. For example, people who report post-coffee headaches frequently find relief simply by hydrating first, because some headaches are dehydration-related rather than caffeine-related. Athletes and older adults notice this effect particularly strongly, since both populations are more sensitive to fluid shifts. Another real-world example: if you travel across time zones, start with water before caffeinated beverages to stabilize hydration and reduce the chance of gastrointestinal upset. Make it easy to integrate. Keep a glass by the bedside or pour one on your way to the kettle. Take slow, deliberate sips while you let the kettle heat. Wait a few minutes, then enjoy your coffee. Continue to sip water throughout the morning so caffeine's mild diuretic effect doesn't compound overnight fluid loss. Small rituals like adding a slice of lemon or pairing the water with a few deep breaths can make the habit stick without adding time. Try this tomorrow morning. Drink a glass of water before you brew or pour your coffee, and pay attention to your energy, digestion, and jitters. If you notice clearer focus, fewer stomach complaints, or less need for extra caffeine, you've unlocked a simple, evidence-aligned tweak that resets your energy with almost no effort. Take that one action and see how it reshapes your mornings. 3. Simple lymphatic drainage movements. Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Smith, and today first I'm going to tell you about how 3 targeted, gentle techniques can shift stagnant fluid, ease morning puffiness, and often lift that groggy, heavy-headed feeling without leaving your bedroom. Many people underestimate that the lymphatic system has no central pump. Movement, muscle contractions, and diaphragmatic breathing are what move lymph toward the central veins. The largest conduit, the thoracic duct, empties into the venous circulation at the base of the neck, so clearing pathways toward the clavicles is the smart first move. Start with a light neck sweep that follows the natural flow of lymph toward the collarbone. Use the pads of your fingers and keep pressure feather light. You're guiding, not squeezing. Place fingers at the base of the skull or behind the ears and stroke downward along the sides of the neck toward the supraclavicular area, synchronizing each gentle sweep with a full exhale. This directs lymph toward the deep cervical nodes and ultimately the subclavian junction. Many people notice a reduction in facial or eye area puffiness after a few gentle passes. A practical example: do these sweeps while waiting for coffee to brew, keeping your head relaxed and shoulders dropped. Next, clear the collarbone gateway with a soft clavicular pump to open the final exit route for head and neck drainage. With flat fingers, press gently into the hollow above each collarbone. Hold a brief, very light pressure, then release. Repeat the rhythm in tune with slow diaphragmatic breaths. Think of this as unlocking the traffic jam at the body's central drain. It helps lymph from the face and neck flow into the venous circulation. Many people pair this with the neck sweeps. Do the sweeps first to move fluid toward the area, then use the clavicle pump to ease it out. Finish the short sequence by mobilizing the axillary channel and lateral torso with an arm sweep and gentle axillary compression. Start at the inner arm or just below the shoulder and sweep toward the armpit using a soft, caressing motion. Then cup the armpit and apply a tender, rhythmic compression to encourage lymph into the axillary nodes. This movement is especially useful after a night spent hunched over screens because it re-engages the pathways that drain the arms, lateral chest, and upper torso. Pairing this with a few shoulder rolls or brisk steps in place increases muscle pumping and supports deeper diaphragmatic breaths, which further propels lymph centrally. To integrate these into a reliable morning reset, perform the sequence in order: neck sweeps, clavicle pumps, axillary sweeps, using relaxed breathing and light touch until you feel a gentle warming or decreased tightness. Stop if any motion causes sharp pain, significant redness, or unusual swelling, and seek medical advice if you have an active infection, recent surgery, or known blood clotting issues. Try this routine now and observe sensations carefully. If it feels good and reduces puffiness or heaviness, consider making it a daily habit. If you found this helpful, follow for more practical reset tips and check with your healthcare provider for personalized guidance. 4. Deep breathing techniques for oxygenation. Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Smith, and today first I'm going to tell you about simple breathing practices that boost oxygen delivery and reset your energy. Many people wake up breathing shallowly from the chest, which limits tidal volume and leaves tissues slightly underoxygenated. This also raises stress hormones and fog. Nasal breathing naturally produces nitric oxide in the sinuses, a gas that helps dilate blood vessels and improves the transfer of oxygen from lungs to blood. The remedy is breath work that emphasizes diaphragm engagement, nasal inhalation, and controlled exhalation. Practical tweaks you can do immediately. Start with diaphragmatic breathing to increase lung expansion and effective oxygenation. Sit or stand tall. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Inhale slowly through the nose so the belly rises while the chest stays relatively still. Then exhale through the nose, allowing the belly to fall. Do 6 to 8 full diaphragmatic breaths, each inhale lasting about 3 to 4 seconds and each exhale a touch longer. This pattern increases tidal volume, promotes better ventilation perfusion matching in the lungs, and reduces the shallow, inefficient breaths that steal energy. Add a pace technique to stabilize oxygen delivery and calm the nervous system. Box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Creates a rhythmic pattern that supports steady oxygen uptake and vagal tone. For a faster reset, try resonant or coherent breathing. Breathe evenly at roughly 5 to 6 breaths per minute, with inhalations and exhalations of equal length. This maximizes heart rate variability and improves the efficiency of oxygen use. Alternate nostril breathing can complement these approaches by balancing autonomic activity. However, focus on nasal unobstructed breathing first, since the nitric oxide benefit is immediate and significant. Integrate these techniques into a short routine that fits the morning. Example: 30 seconds of diaphragmatic breaths to wake the diaphragm, 40 seconds of box breathing to organize the rhythm, then 50 seconds of slow, nasal, equal breathing to anchor the effect. 2 minutes total and clear. If you have lung disease, high blood pressure, or heart conditions, check with your healthcare provider before starting breath hold practices or aggressive pacing. Try this now and notice how your alertness shifts. Practice daily and share this with someone who needs a quick energy reset. 5. Power of a 2-minute morning stretch. Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Smith, and today first I'm going to tell you about a simple practice that interrupts morning grogginess and restores alertness fast. Sleep inertia is a real phenomenon. After waking, many people experience slowed thinking, reduced coordination, and stiff muscles. Short bursts of movement can shorten that fog. A 2-minute stretch engages circulation, stimulates the nervous system, and signals your brain that the body is ready for the day. 2 minutes of targeted stretching increases blood flow to muscles and joints, which helps reduce stiffness and improves mobility. Gentle spinal movements and shoulder openers stimulate proprioceptors, the sensors that tell your brain where your limbs are, and that input sharpens spatial awareness. Deep, Coordinated breathing during stretches enhances oxygen delivery and calms the nervous system, making the transition from sleep to wakefulness less jarring. For people who sit for long periods, these few minutes can counteract the morning tightness that leads to poor posture and early fatigue. Start standing or seated, whichever fits your morning routine, and move with intention. Reach both arms overhead on an inhale. Interlace fingers if comfortable. Then exhale into a slow forward fold. Let the head hang and release the neck. Roll up vertebra by vertebra until you are upright. Next, open the chest. Bring your hands behind your back and gently draw the shoulder blades together while lifting the sternum. Follow with a gentle spinal twist, rotating from the waist while keeping hips grounded. Then perform ankle and calf mobilizations by shifting weight forward onto the balls of the feet and rolling back to the heels. Each movement should be slow and connected to the breath. You can split 2 minutes into 4 30-second segments or flow through the sequence continuously. If you prefer staying in bed, do knee hugs to the chest, gentle knee-to-opposite shoulder stretches, and ankle circles. These mobilize the lower back and legs without sitting up fully. Integration is effortless and practical. Do this before you check messages, while the kettle heats, or as soon as you get out of bed. Consistency matters more than intensity. Office workers can perform a desk-friendly variant. Seated cat-cow at the edge of the chair, shoulder circles, and a standing chest opener during a restroom break. Parents can recruit a child-friendly version, turning reaches into a playful stretch game. Athletes or regular exercisers will find 2 minutes prime for priming movement patterns before more intense activity. The key is to treat it as a daily trigger. Brief, focused movement that cues energy and reduces the chance of mid-morning fatigue. Try it tomorrow morning and pay attention to how your body and mind respond. Start small, keep the breath slow and full, and notice improved mobility and clearer thinking within minutes. If this helped, make it a habit and share the variation that worked best for you. 6. Nutritional Spark for a Senior's Brain. Hello, my name is Dr. Greg Smith, and today first I'm going to tell you about a simple morning boost that targets the one thing many older adults notice first: mental sluggishness and fuzzy thinking on waking. Reduced absorption of key nutrients, mild dehydration, and lower intake of anti-inflammatory fats all contribute to that fog. B12 absorption often declines with age because of reduced stomach acid and intrinsic factor, so low B12 can blunt energy and memory. At the same time, older brains benefit from omega-3s for membrane fluidity, antioxidants to counter oxidative stress, and steady protein to supply neurotransmitter precursors. The solution doesn't have to be complicated, and it can fit a 2-minute window. Start with a deliberate sip of water to rehydrate the brain. Then grab a small, nutrient-dense bite that you prepared ahead. For example, a cup of plain Greek yogurt topped with a handful of blueberries and a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, or a slice of whole-grain toast spread with almond butter and a few walnut halves. These choices combine protein, antioxidants, and plant omega-3s, ALA, in a compact form. If you prefer animal omega-3s, a thin slice of smoked salmon on whole-grain crisp bread provides DHA and EPA alongside B vitamins and protein. Details matter when you want consistent benefits. Blueberries and other deeply colored berries are rich in anthocyanins, which support vascular health and help reduce inflammation around neural tissue. Eggs are an efficient source of choline, a precursor for acetylcholine, important for memory and attention. One hard-boiled egg can be a quick grab-and-go. Leafy greens like spinach and kale offer folate, helping maintain homocysteine at healthy levels, and simple steps like sprinkling ground flaxseed or chia on breakfast add fiber and plant omega-3s with zero fuss. Avoiding a high-sugar pastry at the start of the day prevents rapid blood sugar swings that can worsen brain fog. Integration into a morning routine is painless. Prepare a few pre-portioned jars or containers on a weekend. Overnight oats with chia and walnuts, yogurt cups with berries and seeds, or boiled eggs in the fridge. Pair the 2-minute nutritional spark with a glass of water, 5 minutes of sunlight exposure on the face or wrists, and light stretching to reinforce circadian cues and circulation. Check B12 status with your clinician if you experience persistent low energy. Supplementation or dietary adjustments may be necessary because absorption declines with age. Also discuss any supplements with your doctor. Omega-3 capsules can interact with blood-thinning medications. Try one practical swap for 7 days. Replace a sugary breakfast item with one of the grab-and-go nutrient combos, and note how your focus and energy respond each morning. Prepare 1 jar tonight. Then, after a week, review the change and speak with your healthcare provider about blood tests or targeted supplementation if needed. Small, consistent nutritional choices can light up the senior brain quickly. Act on one today and see the difference. Quick recap. You're solving low morning energy with a simple 2-minute reset, slow deep breaths to increase oxygen, a few standing stretches and posture checks to wake your body, a sip of water to rehydrate, a moment of bright light to cue alertness, and a one-line intention to focus your mind. These tiny actions boost circulation, clarity, and control before your day pulls you away. First, no mornings can be messy and rushed. That's exactly why this works. It's fast, easy, and repeatable. Try it first thing tomorrow and notice how much clearer and steadier you feel by mid-morning. If this helped, subscribe for more science-backed micro-routines, like the video, and leave a comment telling me which step changed your morning most. Next video first will share a 3-minute midday reset and a 5-minute evening wind down you can build on this habit. First, I'm Dr. Greg Smith. See you next time.